It's Robin from Shine Your Light 777, and I'm here to do a collective reading. I figure with everything that's taking place in the world, it'd be very beneficial to get some words of positivity and encouragement from Spirit, from the Almighty One, from the universe, from source, whatever you choose to call it. You'll find in my videos, I'll say several different ideas because I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want anybody to listen and then feel excluded or not want to listen because I didn't name or, say a particular idea. However, there's only one Almighty One, one creator, and then there are several aspects of creation that work on behalf of the creator. So if I say spirit, angel, spirit, God, universe, Almighty One, creator, Allah, whatever I say, if you just know up front, that's what is intended by that, not to offend anybody. However, I'm going to use my The Secret Language of Light Oracle deck to get some messages. I'm going to pull 3 cards unless Spirit sees need 4 more to come out. I'm also going to pull a card from my Fairy Tale Oracle. I'm being drawn to both of these decks for this particular reading. It's my will that this video is reaching everyone in the highest of spirits. I will that despite whatever is taking place, that you're focusing on the positivity, you're being optimistic about what's taking place, that you're not falling victim to the fear that is being implanted or magnified throughout the media, whether it be the newspapers, the internet, the news broadcasts, people at the line in the grocery store, people at the gas station, everybody. Or I'll say there's many different avenues for the negativity to come in. However, it's important for us to realize, acknowledge, and even explore that there is a positive aspect to what's taking place. And with all things, everything has a beginning and everything has a conclusion. So this is not going to last forever. This is taking place for multiple reasons. There's many benefits. There are some discomforts, there causes us to have to go into hyperdrive and think. To put some solutions in motion to make sure, things like bills and rent or groceries or things like that, that they are secured. However, it is very doable. And there's many organizations that are also lending a helping hand to assist with this time. And there's many people like you and me that are stepping up to the plate and being human and expressing human concern and care and generosity to each other. So again, with this time, don't let it be where you get consumed with only the negative aspect of what's taking place. As always, readings are timeless because the wisdom and the guidance that comes from the universe, from the creator, it has no limitations on it. You will receive what is for you at the time that it is most needed. So whether you listen to this today, tomorrow, a week, a month, a year from now, it'll be right on time. So I'm not going to timestamp any of my readings, actually. Allow all of them to be free, to be timeless, so that there's no pressure if you reading it or listen to it or not listening to it based upon the date. So what I'm doing right now is just shuffling the cards. For those that watched my very first reading, this is still a fairly new deck. I've only had it for a week. I like it a lot. And I like the Fairy Tale deck as well. It's a new deck as well that I got on the very same day. I like them a lot. The energy is very compatible. It's really, really great. The messages are very clear and concise, and that they're very timely for what we're going through. I think The Secret Language of Light is very, very timely because, darkness is trying to come in and trying to overtake. However, light always wins. So it's important for us to know, the language of light, to be able to tap into, experience, and receive all of what the light has for us. So I'm going to shift the camera so you all will be able to see the cards being pulled. Let me see. Okay, see the setup. All right, so you'll find in watching my videos as well, like I'll do different techniques with different cards. So with this particular deck, I like to do 3 piles. I like to shuffle it until it feels right. And then I'll do 3 piles and I'll pull the 3 off of the top, and then we'll also check out what is at the bottom for the overall vibration. Some readers you'll see where I'll be like the traditional way of like, you know, like this. You know, certain decks that resonates with me, certain decks it does not, and this is not one of those decks. So I'm just gonna shuffle this 2 more times, and then I'll be complete, and then I'll actually start the reading. Right, so what messages do you have that will benefit the collective today? All right, so Alright, so the first card that was pulled for us is Ask Your Soul. Now, with this specific deck, one of the attributes, I'll say, of this particular deck, because it is about light, the language of light, these cards have been designed in a very specific way for us to benefit from the frequency and vibration that emits from the artistry on the cards, as well as different aspects of light have been highlighted in these cards. And it is encouraged to do a visualization and to see ourselves in the light. So as you can see, there's a person here. You can visualize yourself as this person and the light being above you, or you can visualize yourself as this person and you then ascend into the light. You can visualize yourself here in the bulk of the main source of the light. I think this is very beautiful because as you can see, there's a heart here, right? And then in the very center, there is another heart, and there's a light emitting from that little baby heart. So what is oh, and then you can see the bigger heart here as well. So 1, 2, 3 hearts are present, and then the person standing here has both of his hands in like this position, like this position, like this position right here in front of their heart. So what's really pronounced to me in this card is love. Perhaps the necessity to give attention to our heart chakra, to make sure that our heart chakra is clear and free of any blockages, make sure that it's balanced. However, love is definitely radiating from this card, and what's speaking to me is the necessity for us to operate in the vibration of love at this time. Love is the action word. You know, love means to willingly lower yourself to serve another when you don't have to. So in it being an action word, it's important that what we do matches what we say. And at this particular point in time, with all of what's going on in the world, let alone the country, all of what's going on in the world, the vibration of love is going to supersede everything that's taking place. It is going to be victorious. So when it's operating from a place of love and assisting and supporting our loved ones, our friends, those we come in contact with, we be kind to neighbors, we check on the elderly, whatever it is that we can do to add or magnify to the vibration of love at this time is going to be very, very beneficial. So we'll read this card to see what messages specifically is for us in this card. This card is number 16. When it is simplified, it breaks down to a 7, and we know 7 is God's number. So here we go. Number 16, ask your soul. Wise questions create wise answers. Something you have asked for will soon turn up in your life. Every time you request something, you plant a seed in your quantum field or vibrational reality where it begins to grow and move toward you. This is how we create and expand consciousness. Asking is the first step in any creation. It only needs to be about 10% of the creative process. But somehow, most of us make it about 90%. If we don't see any evidence our desires are coming into existence, we keep asking. This holds us in a place where the answers can't be heard. What you desire is on its way. You only need to ask once. It doesn't matter whether this is out loud or in your mind because the universe interprets vibrations, not words. Now, I think this is very, very key because as a collective, there is a bunch of confusion. There's not a lot of answers. And people are asking questions and they're like in a state of like panic and mayhem just based on not having clarity of what's taking place and why it's taking place. And what's resonating with me from this is asking wise questions gives you wise answers. So being in tune with what it is that you need, what it is that will assist you at this time. So if you're a person that is like panics, a person that overthinks, a person that's super cautious, a person that's a hypochondriac, like whatever it is that you're experiencing in this time of what's happening in the world, I'm seeing that it's important to be still, to be at a place of peace, and to simply ask for what you need. You know, this is a great time to set intentions because of the new moon. So asking for peace of mind, asking for clarity, asking for a peaceful night's rest, asking for your nerves to be calmed, whatever it is that you need, being sure that you're asking. And then not just ask and then keep asking because you don't feel like the answer has come. Be confident that in you asking and you putting it out there for God, the creator, the universe, Allah, your angels, your spirit guides, that they hear you. They're always listening. And the universe is recording everything. So you don't have to keep repeating it. All you have to do is take the necessary steps that support and justify you receiving what it is that you're asking for. So an example would be if you worry a lot or you're stressing about, bills and money or groceries or whatever it is that is your challenge at this time, that you ask and then you do what you know to the best of your ability. You take the necessary steps. So whether it be, you call around, you check with your neighbors, you check with food banks, you check with different churches and organizations, like you do the necessary work, and then you taking the steps, then what you ask for, it will be answered because a doorway is going to open. You're going to get what it is you need, but it didn't come because you kept asking, and it didn't come because you were being spooky just sitting there waiting. Like you asked, you put it out there in the atmosphere, out there into the universe, and because it's positive and it's justified, and then you're doing something to bring it into reality, then it's being responded to, and now you're either getting a call back or, you see a call out on one of the groups that you're in that says, hey, we have groceries in bulk for anyone that's in need, inbox me or, whatever the case may be. Like there's many different ways that what you're asking for can be responded to. And I also see, although this is specifically relating to the time it was taking place in creation, taking place on the planet, I'm also seeing that it's important to express the idea universally how this relates as well, because this is a universal principle, period. When we operate in a vibration of lack or a vibration of always needing or wanting something, we actually prolong what we want or what we need to be attracted to us, because we're always putting out what I need, what I want. However, we have to graduate from the vibration of want and need into the vibration of accomplishing or having or experiencing what it is that we're actually asking for. And in us operating in that vibration, it automatically demands that what we're putting out, it comes to us. Now, I'm not saying be ridiculous. I'm not talking about ridiculous requests like, I want $1 million, I want to be a millionaire, and I'm just going to put it out there and I'm just going to wait for it to come back. that's not how this works, okay? Like, that's not how this works. However, if you're genuine in what you're asking for, and it's going to assist you in your growth and your development to be on your path to your higher purpose and to you being who you are and shining your light, then, and you're actually putting forth some effort, putting forth some steps, then it's going to be responded to. So be sure that, you know, whatever it is that we want, we're being wise. You know, don't be wasteful, don't be greedy, don't be materialistic. You know, I'm not saying you can't live comfortably. However, let's be wise and intelligent for what it is that we're asking for, because in those questions being wise and intelligent, then the answers are going to be wise and intelligent. If you ask a foolish question, you very well may get a foolish answer depending on who you're speaking to. So let's just be mindful of what it is that we're putting out. However, in this card being ask your soul, you know, this is also resonating to me that what we need, it is all within us. And at this time, like I said earlier, you know, love is very prominent. It's resonating with me very much as to what it is that we need and how it can be a solution to a lot of what's taking place right now in our personal lives, in the world. Like, it can really help if we operate from the vibration and the base of love. And love automatically attracts what we need. You know, you see people that are very sweet, they're very kind, they're always giving, they're always being considerate of other people. Those people may have challenges, but they don't never struggle. You know, they never struggle. You always find that things are always working out for them, always working in their favor because of what they're putting out. They operate in the vibration of love. So if we could all, you know, elevate to operate in that vibration, it would most certainly assist not only the planet, however, creation as a whole. So the next card that came out, it is Insight. And this card is another very, very beautiful card. Number 13. We know number 13 is a very, very powerful number. For those that are aware of the 13th tribe of Shabazz, 13 is such a powerful number. In most buildings and elevators, they don't even have a 13th floor. They skip right over it because of the power of number 13. So this shows a person that looks like they're meditating. And what I'm seeing is the energetic body. And you can see the different chakras that's being ignited: the throat chakra, the heart chakra, the the solar plexus chakra, the crown chakra. So envision yourself in the light. Envision yourself as sitting in this position, and your chakras being ignited. They're being balanced and cleared out and operating at the highest level that they can operate, at the level of growth that you're at, and receive all of what is available for you, and receiving that light from that card. So this says refine your psychic senses. Number 13, Insight. You are or are about to see further, higher, and deeper through space and time. Your psychic skills are expanding and seeing through the lens of your soul. Hone your abilities by reading about or doing a workshop or on intuitive development. We are all psychic. It is a part of who we are, but we have thrust this ability into the background in favor of other senses. Problems occur when we keep looking at the manifested world for proof of our worth. You are worthy because you are here. There is nothing to prove. You could become an intuitive reader if this is something you desire. It could also mean you are learning to trust what you feel, and the next steps to take will drop. And the next steps to take will drop into your mind in the following days. Man, that is so beautiful, because for one, that goes hand in hand with the necessity for us to see through the illusions. So what's going on, the fear, what's being presented to us through the media. Yes, you know, it's important, it's serious, it demands our attention for us to do right, to take the right steps to be sure that a period is put to it. However, there's no need to be fearful. So in us refining our psychic senses and being in tune with what's actually taking place, it eliminates fear. It eliminates any confusion coming up that produces us to be uncertain of our future. There's many people, as a result of what's taking place, that are uncertain of what their tomorrow is going to look like, and it doesn't have to be that way. So being in tune, expanding your abilities. Some of us are light workers, some of us are empaths, some of us are starseeds, some of us are rainbow children. Like, there's so many different aspects of who we are on the planet at this time to ensure that love is being experienced and the vibration is grounded here in the planet, so that as a collective we can elevate. And those of you that this is resonating with, be sure that you're giving the necessary attention and study to be sure that your psychic abilities are growing, evolving. If you feel like you have a strong sense of intuition, be sure that you're developing that. If you can, pick up on people's thoughts or read the unseen, or you can tap into people's feelings, whatever your gift is, whatever the signs are, be sure that you're not ignoring them. Pay attention to them. Lend your energy towards developing them, fostering them, testing them out, becoming familiar with what they really are. A lot of us don't even be aware of the gifts that we are, because we shun it off, we shy it off. We say that it's God speaking to us, working through us. And the essence of that is correct. However, it's also us. Like, we have to see us in it as well and be sure that we're owning our gifts and our abilities. And the statement of you are worthy of being here, like, there's no more, like, you don't have to manifest proof. We don't have to prove our worth. The fact that we agreed to come here and assist is more than enough proof of us being worthy. So now we're at the point where we must respond. We must respond to what speaks to our entity. We must respond to what speaks to our spirit. What resonates in your soul is different for each individual. Whatever that is, make sure that you respond to that. And you'll be able to get through this period of time with ease. This is a time for us to go inward and focus on self and grow and develop and let go of old things of the past, things that's been hindering us or weighing us down, or old habits, things that you know that you should have been let go of, or things you haven't even addressed yet. Take this time to give yourself what is needed so that you can let those things go, so you can grow and evolve into having the insight, to being refined in your psychic senses, to be in tune with your abilities, to express and shine the light that is within you for all of the world to be able to benefit from. And last, the card is Inward Revolution, and that is number 42. And that simplifies down to a 6. 6 is the number of decision. So let's see, Inward Revolution. This is another very, very beautiful card. Very, very beautiful. The colors in this card speak to me about the chakras. They're very powerful colors. Red is a very powerful color. Green represents life. Blue is spirituality. You see many different locations of light that you can choose to envision yourself in. You can envision yourself here in the center, and the light expands out. You can envision yourself here and transcending through this light, receiving all that it has for you, and then making it to the top. You can see yourself here and then lowering into the light, and then lowering here and being balanced once receiving everything it is that you need. It's all up to you, whatever resonates with you, okay? Inward Revolution. Inward Revolution reads, the way of your hearts. You are always moving forward, even when you feel like you are going backward. Your path may seem to go up and down, or inward and outward. The spiral is a symbol of your soul journey. It represents the cyclical adventure into your heart center. You will continually revisit aspects of your life to bring you to deeper understanding. Difficulties and challenges can command a greater focus as they help to build bigger and better dreams and desires. Each cycle of life is an important stepping stone that expands into the next. Your life will only feel authentic when you come to your own conclusions. An inward revolution will open you to the wisdom of your soul. It is a path we must all take to truly know and love ourselves. From this place, we move outward, back into the world, empowered with our soul's wisdom. You are worthy of all you desire, no matter where you are in your spiral. Now, this is very key too. And one of the ideas that just came to me is the idea of where it says, from this place we move outward, back into the world, empowered with our soul's wisdom. So this time that we have to be at home, interacting with our families, reconfirming the base of family, expressing love to ourselves, to those immediately in our home, to those we have the opportunity to interact with, those in the community, our neighbors, everybody, even on social media, being mindful of what we post, being sure we only post positivity. All of that has an impact. However, from this place where we are, it would be considered like a sense of isolation. And for those of us that are taking full advantage of the time, we're going inward and we're doing the inward work so that we can grow and evolve into being a greater expression of who we are. And once we move outward, meaning once we go back out into the world, then meaning leaving our houses and being free and to interact in a way that we used to without social distancing and the residue or the vibration of fear, then we're going to be empowered with our soul's wisdom. We're going to be empowered with what we gained, what we learned, what we evolved to. Like, we're going to interact with people and we're going to be at a greater level to give, to share, to assist, to magnify, to love, to protect, to assist, to nurture. It's going to be so beautiful for those of us that are actually taking full advantage of this time, because it's important in order for you to freely give to someone what they need, the proper attention has to be given to self to be sure that we're getting what we need. So what I'm seeing, what Spirit is sharing with us from all of these cards, that it's important for us to be focusing at this time on the inner work, being sure that we are giving ourselves the attention that is needed so that we can grow, evolve, shed old layers, evolve into being the new expression of who we are, and really deal with some things. It reminds me of the principle of spring cleaning. We're actually stepping into the time of spring. And this is a time where you would go through your drawers and your closets and, your garage or your basement or your storage room, or whatever it is, and purge old things that you haven't been wearing, things you've outgrown, things that have stains on it, things that don't really fit your style no more, things that don't fit anymore because you either lost weight or gained weight, whichever spectrum you find yourself on. Hopefully it's lost weight so you can have that sexy summer body. However, whichever spectrum you find yourself on, that's part of what you do during spring cleaning. However, not enough of us actually recognize that we got to do that spring cleaning spiritually too. Like, we really got to take the time to do an inventory of what's there. Like, are there cobwebs? Is there clutter? Is there old things that I'm holding on to that don't serve me no more? Is there old thought patterns? Am I holding on to past hurt, past pain? Am I still tripping over that ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend or ex-wife or ex-husband? Am I still tripping off of a situation that took place with my brother, my sister, my mother, my father, my uncle, my aunt? Am I still holding on to anything? This is the time to do that, to really evaluate. Some of us have childhood hurts that we haven't really addressed. It's important that we address those things because they're not going to go away by themselves. Like, things in the spiritual hurt, like, it don't go away. We have to address it and heal from it. So now is the time to focus on whatever, like I said, any childhood trauma, anything from past relationships, anything in this current, situation that we may be experiencing, someone who cheated, not seeing our worth, not seeing our value, not seeing what it is that we can add to the world, not even really understanding why we're here, low self-esteem, not happy with our bodies, not happy with how we look, whatever it is, this is the time to deal with it, to address it. And then the first step is recognizing that it's even there. Once we recognize it, then we got to go to why is it there? Like, how did it get there? Because whatever it is, you wasn't always that way. You didn't come here that way. You wasn't that way when you was 2. You wasn't that way when you was 5. You wasn't that way when you was 9. You go back and you track it and you trace it and you identify when it actually happened. And then you have to go through the process of recognizing it for what it is and forgiving yourself or forgiving the person, whichever one fits, and then being able to see the positive in it, see the silver lining in it, see what it produced. And if you can't see it, you got to keep looking, because there's always a positive, always a silver lining in anything that takes place, no matter how discomforting it is, how distasteful, how challenging it is, how horrible it is, whatever, adjective you want to apply to it, regardless of what it is, there's always a positive in it. Because if it was not, then that means that the creator doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like, there has to always, for things to be in balance, there has to be a positive and a negative at this time. There's light and there's darkness at this time. So whatever situation that you would consider negative or darkness, there is light and positivity somewhere there, that whether what it produced, what it developed in you, something that you now do that you would not have done as a result of what you experienced, the way you view things, how you treat other people, something. I can go on and on. However, take the time to identify what is the positive, and from that acceptance, then you move forward. Free of any guilt, free of any judgment. If the person has to answer for what they've done, you leave that in the hands of the creator. Leave that in the hands of the universe, knowing that what you put out, you get back. So for a person to have done you wrong, and it was like intentional, it was like malicious, like they're going to get what they deserve. However, at the same time, if a person did it out of ignorance, if they did it because they was hurt, hurt people hurt people. People who are damaged, they don't even realize that they damaging somebody else. So having a level of what do you call it, compassion or empathy for them, for what they have gone through or what they've experienced, that even allow for them to treat you that way, seeing it for what it is, and letting it go and moving forward with the positive thought in mind. Then the things of the old, then they can't weigh you down, they won't hold you hostage. They won't beat you up. They won't affect you in the future, because whatever you holding on to from the past most certainly is going to have an effect in the future, because now you're bringing it into your present, and that vibration, you're projecting it outward. So whatever you're putting out, that is attached to it. So when whatever you're putting out comes into the physical, now it's, in your future, sort of say, then you'll be experiencing it. So, I don't want to, go too much on this idea. However, just being sure that the attention that's needed for us to heal, to grow, to shine our light, that we're doing the work now. 2020 is a year of clear sight, clear vision. There's no greater time than now. Like, it would have been great if you would have started before now, but it's okay if you didn't. It's okay if you didn't, because everything is being lined up to support those of us that are doing the work now. So do the work. Don't take a shortcut. Don't think you got time, because I'm telling you right now, you do not have time. It is important to start right now if you want to receive and experience the benefit and the rewards that are going to be coming, because there's going to be some really great things happening for those of us that's been doing the work, whether it be in love. Some of us are going to be reunited with our twin flames, be reunited with our soulmates, being reunited with those that complete us, those that add happiness and substance to our lives. So, and we're going to be able to add substance and bring a sense of completion to someone else's life, because we're doing the work, right? Then we're going to also receive or experience the benefits in our family life, and business endeavors, in finances, in our health. Like, all of these aspects, we're going to experience the benefits because we're doing the work now. So again, I can't reiterate anymore the importance of doing the work now. There's no time like the present. They say don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. So start today. And I've done a few videos on YouTube about some of the steps that can be done to start the process. I spoke about some of it in this video as well. I got to figure out how to post some of the videos that I did on Facebook on YouTube, and once I figure that out, I will post them for your benefit and viewing pleasure as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull from the Fairy Tale Oracle, and I'm going to show you this book in a moment. These cards are so gorgeous. They are so adorable. They have like pictures of different princesses or different people from different fairy tales. And this part of the reading may be a little lengthy, especially if I pull 3 cards. I'll see, what's resonating. However, because each one has a story, and it's important to read the stories because there's so many keys and so many ideas that resonate in the story that may not necessarily have been received had you not read the story. So I am not going to cheat you all out of the experience for those that have the will to have the experience to listen to the stories associated with the cards that are pulled. And then willfully, which I know it will because the creator never falls short, and the universe always responds, everybody is going to receive exactly what they need from each card that is pulled. And I am still resonating with me to pull 3 cards, so I'm going to do my my piles to pull 3 cards. And because this deck is so new, there's many of these cards that I'm not familiar with. And all 3 of these cards are new cards that I have not had the pleasure of reading. So I'm super stoked that we get to read these cards together and become familiar with them together. All right, so this is what it looks like. Isn't she adorable? Look at those eyes. Whoever the artist was did a very, very, very great job. Actually, let me not just say anybody. Her name is Jasmine Beckett Griffith is the artist, and the designer or the author of these cards is Lucy Cavendish. I highly recommend, if you are into oracle cards, that this is a deck that you add to your collection. When I chose these cards, I was looking for a deck that had messages with them. You know, some of the cards, they just have words, and then you intuitively pick up what is being shared. But I kind of wanted cards, and in some you have words and then you read whatever the message is for the word. However, I kind of wanted something that had a story to it because it had more versatility to me, and it was just resonating with my spirit that it was time for me to get a deck that was like this, to be able to expand the readings that I do. So the first card that has been pulled is Red Riding Hood, and her card says Rites of Passage. Rites of Passage. Isn't that cute though? Do you see her? Look at those eyes. My daughters are into anime, and they actually draw anime. So when I see these cards, it reminds me of Japanese anime. So just a little tidbit of information. Okay, so this is one of the most evocative and psychological of all fairy tales, the Red Cloak. The walk through the woods, the foods and fruits taken to grandma, the wolf, and the attempt at deceit. Red Riding Hood is a story of initiation into adulthood, mature womanhood, a coming-of-age story that is violent, dark, and bloody. For within it, the red cloak represents the maturity of the young woman. It is the blood that now flows from her womb, meaning she has left childhood behind, at least on a physical level. But she is attached to her family. Her love and care for her grandmother is foremost, and she undertakes a journey through the wild, dark forest, clothed only in her red cloak, her matador's cloak, her shield, and at once an invitation and a protection. The wolf is every creature that The wolf is every creature that ever hoped to prey upon innocence. He solicits her friendship and grooms her for victimhood, and does all he can to overwhelm her suspicion with charm and false reassurances. The road to Grandma's house symbolizes the road of her life, the journey to her eventful and possible old age. This is a tale of the dangers of being female, of the unpredictable natural world, of the predatory nature of some men, and the way in which so many will stalk and groom their potential victims. This is a powerful, powerful tale. The wind nature of the wild nature of Red Riding Hood is within her, as she too is a being of passion and desire, and is coming into a time to express that. Innocence is something that the world can sense and attempt to exploit. The predatory nature of so many humans is here for all to see. The instinct of both men and women that makes them wish to devour another. Ultimately, this tale is about the truth. That other people, not wolves, are not who they seem to be, not who they say they are, and even their actions can be highly manipulative and deceptive. Those in whom we trust may be grooming us to harm us, and it is that easy, innocent giving of trust which can make us most vulnerable on our journey through life to deliver the sweet rewards to our older self. If we are to become an elder, we must learn to discern between those who we can trust and those who we cannot. In one of the earliest versions of the tale by Charles Perrault, we know that the walk through the woods is our whole life. We are often urged to stay on the path, to not give in to our own ability to become wild, to even do harm. In this way, we know the tale is not just about avoiding the predators, but about avoiding our own predatory nature. So when this card comes to you, not only are you being asked to be very, very wary of who you give your trust to, you are being asked to focus on the task, to live long, to grow old, to be rewarded. You are also being asked to be aware of your own ability to become distracted, diverted, to lose focus, and to even take advantage of others yourself. This is no insult. It is a truth that all our natures have this potential. So for now, be careful of trusting. Do not give in to your own temptations to become like the wolf. And for now, stay on the path of what will bring out the very best within your own nature. For the path of life is long. If we are fortunate, and the road to becoming old is always full of dangers. Stay safe and know that words and deeds do not tell us all about those we meet along life's journey. Your instinct will advise you. Do not be delayed or diverted. Remember who you are and where you are going. And the meaning of this card: the maiden comes of age, sexual maturity. Stay focused and aware. Do not be deceived by appearances. Do not let yourself be groomed. Think of the purpose. Have a mature viewpoint within this situation. I think this is very timely when, again, we speak about the time that we're in and all of what's going on in the media, all of what's being presented to us, being sure that we are still thinking, we're not falling for the trap, we're not allowing ourselves to be deceived, we're not just blindly giving our trust away to the people that are in office, we're not just going for the okie doke, we're not just trusting that they're going to take care of it. We take the necessary steps to be sure that we are protected, and our families and our loved ones and those that we encounter and we meet, we do our part as well. And then just overall, like in harmony with what the message that I was picking up about the importance of this time that we're in as us as individuals and as a collective, being sure that we're not giving in to the lower self, the lower vibrations. There's a lot taking place. There's a lot that we're going to be faced with. The vibration of wanting to blame someone else, the vibration of wanting to deflect what we see or what's being brought to our attention. Those vibrations are going to come up, but it's going to be vitally important for us to not give in to those vibrations, to stay focused on the path of why we're doing what we're doing and where we're going, where we're headed, and knowing that rewards are coming. The next card is Sleeping Beauty Awakening. Do you see that? See those flowers? See how delicate she looks? Let's see what her story is. When the child is 16, she will prick her finger upon a spindle and die. The king and queen cried out and begged the fairy to forgive them and remove the curse. But the fairy refused to do so. But one fairy stepped forward and said, I cannot undo the curse, but I can alter its course. Beauty shall not die when she touches the spindle, but she will fall into a deep sleep for 100 years. It is right that in this tale, the family of Sleeping Beauty decide they will fall into the same enchanted sleep along with their daughter, a princess who is cursed by a fairy with a grudge. When the Princess Aurora is born, her parents invite the chief magical beings of the kingdom to offer them all a rare gift. They are genuinely overjoyed at the birth of this child, who had been longed for far before she was born. But there is one fairy they do not invite. And in some versions of the tale, this is deliberate. In others, it is an oversight. In others still, the reason is they have not enough wealth to share with the being now known as Maleficent. While the offended fairy's payback to the family slight is to curse Aurora to die when she pricks her finger upon a needle from a spinning wheel, a late arriving fairy can soften the blow with her blessing, that Aurora will simply fall into a deep sleep where she can only be awakened from the kiss of a lover whose heart is true. Instead of raising Aurora with this knowledge, the family endangered her even more by keeping the prophecy from her. And it is this ignorance that most endangers her, which gives the curse its opportunity to take hold. When this card comes to you, you will learn that someone has tried to protect you from a harsh truth by keeping information that is vital from you. There is no escape from the dilemma you inherited, but you will be able in time to find a way through the challenge, and you will not be alone, and you will never be abandoned. You will be awakened to the truth, and when you wake up, so will all others around you who wish to protect you, but in truth only made you more vulnerable. So I'm going to show you the card again. Move my fingers out of the way. Meaning, the curse shall be broken. Time will lead to an awakening. The forest protects you. The sins of the parents. Inherited guilt. Generational patterns activated. Ignorance of consequences. Willfully hiding the truth. This is so key. It's definitely resonating to me in relationship to doing the inner work, because there's so much that's going to come to the surface. Curses shall be broken. We're talking about generational curses. We're speaking about karmic curses. We're speaking about karmic contracts, things that we're paying for in this lifetime from what we've done in past lifetimes. Sins of the parents, the way that our parents raised us, what they placed in us. Oftentimes our parents, they did the best that they could do with what they were given or what they had, but it didn't make it right. So a lot of us have traumas from our childhood. We have patterns that we've developed because of how our parents raised us. I'll give you an example. My mother was a yeller. My mother yelled. She yelled, okay? She yelled. I would be in the kitchen. She would be in her room, or I'd be in my room. She'd be in her room. Robin! And I'd run to the room thinking it was something urgent, and she'd want me to go get her a glass of water from her room. From the kitchen. Or she'd want me to do whatever she wanted me to do. I'd be outside playing. She'd be in the house. She'd be yelling my name, Robin! And I run thinking it's something important, something urgent. It wasn't nothing important. Whenever she got upset, if I didn't do my chores, she would yell. So I don't yell at my children in that same way. However, I'm loud. Like, I talk loud when I get excited. I'm loud. When I'm upset, I go up octaves. When I'm on the verge of like having a moment because my children aren't doing what I know they are capable of doing, I will yell. I'm a yeller. So that's something that was ingrained in me. Now, it's not necessarily a negative. However, depending on what walk of life I'm in, it could be an irritant. It could break peace. I can be talking loud out in public and not even realize I'm talking loud. I could be embarrassing people. I can be embarrassing myself and not even knowing I'm being embarrassed. However, that's just an example of something that was placed in me from my mom at childhood that now in adulthood, it is there. So you can place whatever there that you've experienced from your childhood that now in adulthood is there that you would like to let it go. So the sins of the parents, inherited guilt, the way that we're developed as children or even as adults, and those that we interact with in relationships, the way that people think about things, they can place guilt on us. Like, we can inherit the guilt of what someone else has done, something that someone else has gone through, the way that they view us, the way that they say that we have hurt them or affect them, whatever it is. Inherited guilt. Generational patterns being activated. That can be positive, that can be negative. Ignorance of consequences. We're doing things, we have done things, not thinking it through, not recognizing the consequences, being ignorant to the consequences, but still having to receive the reward. And there very may be very little. Somebody around you very well may literally have been protecting you from some truth that is going to come to the light. And now, like, you have to deal with this truth. However, again, in this truth, there's a silver lining, there's a positivity, there's growth, there's elevation, there's maturity that will take place. So, you know, take it as it resonates, okay? The last card is number 10. And number 10 is Goldilocks, which is another adorable picture. All right, and this is Goldilocks, entitlement. So first she tasted the porridge of the great huge bear, and that was too hot for her. And she said a bad word about that. And then she tasted the porridge of the middle bear, and that was too cold for her. And she said a bad word about that too. And then she went to the porridge of the little small wee bear and tasted that. And that was neither too hot nor too cold, but just right. And she liked it so well that she ate it all up. But the naughty girl said a bad word about the little porridge pot because it did not hold enough for her. In this relatively recent tale, a pretty golden-haired girl wanders into a home that belongs to a family. She eats their food, sits in their chairs, and sleeps in their beds. And she does it all with the greatest sense of entitlement that makes me feel that this card is all about those who have a sense of entitlement or who make use of the families of others. The selfish one who wanders into private space and appraises it thoughtlessly. The one who takes over the territory of others without even considering the dangers of doing so. For Goldilocks, from the bear's perspective, is no pretty child, cute and sweet. She is an invader. She has carelessly entered their home, disrupted their sense of safety, and taken what feels to be hers by right. And nothing she helps herself to belongs to her. This tale is so well loved and remembered, perhaps because of its use of 3 over and over. And this way it alludes to the law of 3, that whatsoever we do, we send out and receive back to the power of 3. There are 3 bears. They each have their own personal belongings. And this spoiled little rich girl who comes out of nowhere and leaves into the same simple enters and takes. Goldilocks is not hungry or uncared for, since she is simply looking for what is just right for her, and has no qualms experimenting with others' belongings before taking without thought what she believes to be hers by right. And her false security of being able to do this, she ultimately learns that this way of thinking and behaving is not safe, nor is it noble. The bears are strong and very family orientated. They look out for each other and can be seen dancing in unison in this image. Does Goldilocks want what they have, this closeness and safety? Is this then betrayed or trespassed upon? Goldilocks represents a sense of entitlement, and so it is with this card. Be aware that there is no real entitlement in this world, and that what we have and treasure we have earned and deserve to protect. That to share, we must be invited in. And growing up means not simply walking into other families and demanding we be cared for as we were as children. Many times in life, we will attempt to gain the symbols of belonging of the new home and family of being just right. But we must acquire these for ourselves. The bears within the tale show us what a family is. Goldilocks is acting completely without thought for others. The bears are also symbols of deep unconscious, and bear medicine is particularly strong and wild. The deep unconscious and primal world, represented by the bears, is being disrespected by Goldilocks, and this too impedes her journey to maturity. She cannot grow up without respect for our deep animalistic nature. The bears associated so strongly with the goddesses Diana and Artemis, one a mother, one an independent guardian of the forest and of feminine power, Goldilocks longs for this growth, but she cannot grow in this way until she learns respect to rightfully fare what she cannot understand. And her only way to understand what the bears are and what they have is through understanding her own self. When she does that, she will be reborn into wisdom, like the bear emerging from the hibernation stage, from the cave at winter. She will shine as she becomes the adult, the woman, the goddess. She is disrespecting the strength, the power, and the sheer tenacity and endurance of the bear. The bear is the father too, as in Odin. And the bear is the baby, the new life, the cub coming into the world. Bear is wisdom and respect. And this is what the card alerts to you. Where do you need to learn, to study, to respect in order to grow past a young stage and into full maturity? Now that's deep. There were so many ideas that was expressed in that. I'm going to allow that to resonate or sit in your spirit where it resonates. The meaning of this card: privilege is earned. Trespass of a personal space. Search for protection. Immature approach. Disrespectful person. Ignorant of boundaries. Superiority when humility would be best. See if there's anything else. Yep. Ask permission before taking. Learn from your errors. Be wise about potential danger. Excuse me, that wasn't all the way in the frame. Excuse me. So, on a personal base, you can allow that to resonate whichever way that resonates with you. However, the message that I'm receiving or picking up for the collective is the idea of those that are in charge, those that we see, being sure that we're able to see clearly who each individual is, what thought process, what vibration they represent. There are some people that are in a position of authority that act very privileged in the way that they speak to us as a collective, how they speak about us, the decisions that are being made, the lack of care and concern for us as individuals, as a body of humans. So just being sure that we are able to identify entitlement for what it is and being sure that we're not responding to those frequencies, responding to the lower frequencies in a way that later on we'll have to pay for them. Being sure that what we're doing is always in time and on time, in harmony with the vibration of love and magnifying life, so that we could be a part of the solution and not the problem. But it's important to have clear sight. You know, we spoke about insight, we spoke about awakening, we spoke about inward revolution, ask your soul, rites of passage. There's much that has been shared with us in this particular reading so that we can have clarity and peace of mind on what's taking place and knowing what our position is to be and what steps we need to take to be sure that we are secure during this time, and knowing that there's much positivity taking place despite those that are showing entitlement, those that are taking for granted or taking advantage of those that are in lesser positions at this time. Not giving into those energies, being sure that we're being free, being happy, doing the necessary work so that we're operating from a vibration of love. Excuse me. Excuse me. And that's what I'm receiving. That's what I'm getting from this. I will that you all found this to be productive, to be of assistance with what it is that you're experiencing at this time. I will that whenever you view this video, you receive exactly what you need to get you through whatever it is you're going through. Hopefully you are closely approaching experiencing balance in your life, experiencing balancing within yourself, becoming more self-aware of who you are and the beautiful gifts that the Creator has placed within you, so that we all may benefit from what it is that you have to offer us all. I will that you are experiencing love and light and experiencing the balance that comes from being with the one that has been specifically designed for you and that you've been specifically designed for them. I will that you're experiencing abundance in your family, in your family life, in your business, in your finances, and an abundance of happiness and love above all else. Be free to like the video, to subscribe. We really appreciate you subscribing. Leaving a comment below, letting us know your thoughts, what you experienced, what you received, what resonated with you. How do you like the cards? You know, do you like the storyline? Do you like the fairy tales? Do you like the sacred language of light? Do you have these cards? What have you experienced with them? Any thing that you have the will to share, we have the will to read. We thank you for being with us for almost an hour, listening to what we have received or what I have received, to offer to everyone to assist in this day and time, and to elevating and growing on this path of shining your light. On that note, I will see you again on the next video. Love, light, and peace.